Hello, hello, and welcome to Golden Drip. We officially have a new podcast name. Whoop, whoop. I am so excited. I knew this last week, but I needed to get a little bit more clarity into what it would look like, the cover art, how I would spell it, things like that, and how I would explain it even, right? Because if I don't even know how I would explain the meaning, like I know how much it means to me to say golden drip, but I also need to be able to articulate it as well, right? So I got all my ducks in a row, for lack of better words, and we have a podcast name. It is no longer the Mega Million Podcast. It is Golden Drip. So what does Golden Drip mean to me? Let's start with golden. First of all, gold is luxe. I love wearing gold jewelry, gold everything. Gold, 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 gold. Gold is also very symbolic in the spiritual world. It is a healing energy. Every day I'm connecting and utilizing gold light to up-level my cells, to restore and repair my cells. It is a very, very, I hate saying a popular common color, but it is in spirituality. Every day I am using golden light for something. And you may be like, what the fuck are you talking about? Literally, there is energetic work that you need golden light for, enable to connect with source or whatever higher power you believe in order to, establish that connection and to carry out in its totality what you want to do from the energetic or even physical side of things. I get that's really confusing or may seem really confusing. Gold is very, very significant in the spiritual world. With that being said, gold also represents luxe, high quality, money. When you hear or see gold, you just think, oh, that is high quality, which leads me to the next word, drip. The epitome of high quality, and is the emotion and feelings to start embodying in order to achieve your next up level in life. Your next up level in life meaning your dream desired max compatibility romantic relationship that you're now ready to begin attracting and calling in. Your family, anything, your dream career, that is what your next up level is. And let's say, oh, I'm already in my dream career. Well, whatever that next level is in your dream career, that's what drip means to me. That's your next up level. That's high quality. That's what you should be embodying in order to attract these things. Golden drip, I'm obsessed. I'm like, let's get merch. I'm like, let's go. And my higher self was like, no, not yet. I'm like, let's get this printed on a tee, right? Not yet. That's future, but so excited to finally be able to share this. I had a mini freak out moment before I came on and announced this. I'm like, let me just make sure one more time that golden drip is not taken, because there's other variations of the podcast name, but I had a mini freak out moment because I almost thought this name was taken. I'm like, what the F? I was like, I was about to lose my shit if that was the case, but we're good. So I had a mini freak out, had to call my nervous system again. We're back, but we're back, we're good. Today's podcast topic is very, very, very special to me. Well, they're all very special to me, but it's definitely something if you're new in the spiritual world and understanding reflections and things like that. And if you're like, what are reflections? I'm going to review that again like I do every podcast episode, but it is worth reviewing. And I say that every podcast episode because we are not taught these universal laws, these source truths, this spirituality POV. And it's hard for our brains who like physical, tangible proof and logic to grasp potentially what is going on. And I say that not from I can see the esoteric, no problem. Because I love the tangible logic, physical proof in front of me. However, there's a whole energetic side of things that you cannot see, but that is there. That's very, very important for you to understand in order to manifest and attract the things you desire the most, in order to live your life to the fullest, to have it be most fulfilled is maybe the best way to say that. To live your most fulfilling life. There we go. And that is understanding how your physical body is always communicating with you. Your body will tell you things before you even know the brain answer to it. Your body will tell you, no. You'll get that worst feeling in your stomach before your brain even comprehends, oh, this is a no. Like, I shouldn't do this. This isn't in my highest good. This isn't the optimal decision for me in this moment. Your body is always talking to you. I've mentioned this before in previous podcasts, but your body, anything less than desirable going on with your body. So think about physical injuries, ailments, diseases, cancer, even things like holding on to excess weight, wrinkles, the texture of your skin, the redness of your skin, right? Think like sunburn, things like that. All of these ailments, I'm just going to umbrella term it all for as ailments, even though I get they're not all ailments, but anything less than desirable going on with your body is communicating with you an underlying energetic root cause that is preventing you from living your most fulfilled life. And before I dive even further into that, let me give a brief review of reflections, the universal law of reflections. To start this explanation off simply, we live in an inside-out world. Whatever you are holding to be true in this moment is being broadcasted via your electromagnetic field for the world to respond to you, for people, situations, and circumstances to respond to you. Literally all of life is a mirror. And why this is beyond helpful to understand is because if you don't like something going on in your life, you have the ability to change it right now today, because it is only a reflection of you. It is only a reflection of an insecurity, a limiting belief, something that true nature you would not hold to be true, that currently you are holding on to be true, not to sound even more confusing, that needs to be shifted. True nature you sees the perfection in everything. That's a universal law as well. There is good and bad in everything. True nature you knows this. Throughout life, we stray from this, and it's not even our fault. That's essentially what society tells us. This is good, this is bad. If you have back pain, that's bad. Oh, if you have a strong core and your back is so flexible, that is good. That's literally what we're taught with our physical form as well. Fat is bad, skinny is good. Wrinkles are ugly, Botox is hot. That's literally what society is telling us. And your true nature self sees the good and bad in everything, because that is the truth. For however much there is good in something, there are equal amounts of bad. And the quicker we realize this, the happier we'll be. And I don't want to make it sound like it's easy. Even to this day, doing this work, I still, again, remind myself of this. Nothing is 100% good, 100% bad. Everything is both. And that's what reflections are trying to teach us as well, that because your boyfriend is yelling at you, we see that as bad. There is good in it because he is only reflecting what is in your electromagnetic field right now. He is reflecting that back to you because that is something your higher self, your true nature self, wants you to shift in order to live your maximum potential life, in order to live the most fulfilling life. Trust me, I get that's hard to hear from a human POV. Human POV meaning your brain. Because right, there are social norms of you shouldn't just be yelling at people. I get it to a T. To 100% I get it. But is it source truth? Is it universal law? Yes. However you feel like your boyfriend is being, is how you are being towards yourself in another area of life. That is also a big, big thing to understand in reflections, is that wherever the reflection is popping up in, let's say, and I'll just keep using the boyfriend example before I get to the body, but whatever trigger or limiting belief or insecurity, whatever area of life that is popping up in. So here would be your romantic area of life, because that's your boyfriend. Your limiting belief or insecurity isn't even in the romantic relationship itself. It's in another area of life that you are not even paying attention to, that the universe, your higher self, is orchestrating this situation with your boyfriend to throw in your face, so that you look inward and see, okay, where am I not paying attention to this limiting belief at? Where is this limiting belief living in? It's often in your subconscious. 95% of your thoughts, actions, beliefs, patterns, etc. live in your subconscious. You can Google that. Where is this limiting belief living in that I need to shift so that I could just live a happier life, period? So brief recap. Reflections are, we live in an inside-out world. However you are being toward yourself in this moment is how everything and everyone will respond to you. Wherever the trigger, less than desirable thing, insecurity, physical ailment, whatever, wherever that thing that is pissing you off or that you want to shift, wherever that is popping up in, is not actually the area of life you have an issue in. Again, the situation or person or thing is occurring to throw red flags and sirens in your face saying, hey, you're paying so much attention over here, so I'm gonna throw smoke over here. But you actually need to look inward and look at another area of life where you are being this way to yourself. You are ignoring it. You are ignoring this one area of life, but you pay really close attention to this one. So I'm gonna throw smoke. Again, I'm throwing smoke, red flags, sirens, the boyfriend yelling at you to say, hey, how am I feeling about this reflection? How am I feeling about this situation? Look inward, see what area of life you actually are holding this limiting belief to be true in. And then that's where you begin shifting in order to live your happiest life again. In order to live on your highest path, on your highest timeline. In order to live life in accordance with your higher self. You are your higher self. Your higher self is just the version of you with no limiting beliefs about yourself in this lifetime. And again, throughout life, we stray from that because we take on external thoughts, We listen to this person, we make it our own thing, and it's not the truth. We take on the doubt, we take on the lack of trust, we take on the resistance. That's not true nature us. And you are your higher self. Again, your higher self knows that you're not the doubt, the resistance, the lack of trust, things like that. And that's what shifting reflections helps you do. Return to your higher self, return to your true nature you. I'll use those two interchangeably. Higher self, true nature you. To me, they're the same thing. Guys, when I first started doing reflections, or learning reflections, I should say, it was equally both empowering and humbling because I was getting to a point where I thought I was doing something wrong, something quote unquote bad would happen in my life. And I was thinking, wow, I'm creating this somewhere internally in another area of life. And I'm at a loss for words at how I could be treating myself this way when I don't even know where these limiting beliefs are stemming from. And guys, that's also not a problem, but something we have to, I hate saying we have to recognize, but a lot of our insecurities and limiting beliefs, I don't even love the word limiting beliefs, just things that don't serve you anymore. Anything you're holding to be true that doesn't serve you anymore, we take on these thoughts, actions, and beliefs from a young age. And we sign up to take these things on from a young age. We have soul contracts with people in our life. We have soul contracts for what limiting beliefs we'll take on. And we take these things on from a young age and we don't even realize it. We don't even have maybe a concrete memory of when this started. Maybe not a concrete memory, but a general feeling of, yeah, maybe that time, and maybe you think you're healing it, but it's still deep in there. Because year after year and decade after decade, because that limiting belief has now been living in your energetic field since you were, let's say, 3 years old, and you haven't shifted it, and it's not your fault because you didn't know it when you were 3, but you just keep amplifying. Again, we create our reality. So if you have this limiting belief that you took on from when you were 3 years old, and it's still being broadcasted in your energetic field, at all moments, we broadcast an energetic field that contain our thoughts, actions, and beliefs. Everything is energy. That's just science. And right, if we're following the rule of reflections, it's an inside-out world. So this limiting belief is living in your energetic field. And because you haven't shifted it, and it's not your fault. You don't have knowledge of this, but you keep attracting situations and people to amplify it. So year after year and decade after decade, these wounds get deeper and deeper. I don't even love the word wounds either. And why I don't love the word limiting beliefs or wounds, they hold such negative connotation. Again, there's good and bad in everything. That limiting belief, that wound is the best thing to happen to you because it's made you who you are today. Don't you love who you are today? Aren't you so obsessed with who you are today? Love that limiting belief, love that wound, because that version of you still needs love as well. While equally at the same time, it's not serving you anymore. If it's being thrown in your face over and over and over again, it's looking to be shifted. It's not serving you anymore. It's time to overcome it, time to overcome this obstacle so that you could go out and help others do the same thing in your soul purpose. And how does all of this relate to the physical form, right? Your physical body is the best communicator. We can all agree that when we are feeling stressed, nervous, that your body will let you know something is wrong right away. I am constantly scanning my body, just even how I feel. Even with intuition, I could scan the light and dark content of my body. So I could scan that. The dark is representing areas of my body that have a lack of source light in it. And if an area of your body has a lack of light in it, it represents an energetic root cause that is looking to be shifted. A limiting belief that is looking to be shifted so that I could move forward in life. And not just move forward in life, but move forward in life happily and attract even more of the things I desire. So with intuition, I could scan the light and dark content of the body. But then I just scan, how does my physical form feel right now? And guys, before I got into this work, it was the biggest mindfuck sometimes as to, I could be sitting here doing this and feeling so chill and just all of a sudden have a headache, jaw pain, a sore throat, my chest feeling constricted. And I'm not even in a dangerous situation where I would need these fight or flight responses, or I'm not even in a situation where I should feel so much pressure, or you know what I mean? And I could not figure out what was going on until I got into this work, until I discovered that my body is just talking to me and is showing me that there are limiting beliefs and areas of life where I'm holding these insecurities, triggers, wounds that I don't even realize on a superficial level, but are living in me that need to be shifted. Because guys, that's what happens. If you just ignore the shit going on in your life, it doesn't just go away. The fear doesn't just go away. The anxiety doesn't just go away. It starts to hit your physical form. And any ailment going on in your physical form is just throwing, again, siren. It's a reflection. So it's throwing sirens, flags in your face. Hey, this needs to be shifted, this needs to be shifted, this needs to be shifted. Our poor bodies, right? When I first realized this, I'm like, my poor body, we need to show it love. That's why I do all the massages and the facials and things like that, just to show my physical form some love in a physical way on top of energetic work. I do as well to show my physical form love, but your body is always talking to you. Your body plays a huge role in intuition, and we all have intuitive gifts. What happens is when you don't shift your ish, it starts at the physical form, it creates resistance within the body, and it actually blocks your intuitive flow and channels. That's why it is imperative to listen to your body and whatever your body is telling you to begin shifting so that you could begin just making the most optimal decisions for you. So let me give a real life example of this. I've been getting headaches, and I'll get the headaches at the most random times. I'll just be sitting on the couch. And the energetic root cause of why you get a headache is because you are putting too much pressure on yourself in some area of your life. And guys, I'll get headaches at the most random times where I'm actually putting no pressure on myself, when I'm watching TV, when I'm laying down relaxing, when I'm getting my massage. And that's because if we're following the law of reflections, I'm not putting pressure on my body. I'm not putting this pressure to have, the hot body, the dream body, because the ailment, the trigger, the reflection is popping up physically. So whatever area, the trigger, the ailment, the limiting belief is popping up in, that's not where the limiting belief is living. The limiting belief is living in some other area of my life that I'm not paying attention to. I pay very close attention to my physical form. So that's why this pressure reflection is popping up there. I pay so much attention to my physical form. I'm scanning it daily. I'm scanning it 24/7, I feel like. And I'll do the physical things like the water, making sure I'm getting enough sleep, adequate nutrition, ibuprofen, all the things. But you could be doing all these physical things and not address the energetic root cause, and it'll keep popping up. Because trust me, I've done that. I've done the ibuprofen, the water, the salt in the water, the fruit, the blah, 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 blah. It's still there. So I'm sitting on my couch, right? Even last night, I'm getting a headache. I'm like, okay, where am I putting pressure on myself in? Because again, I'm not putting pressure on my physical form. I'm putting pressure on another area of life that I'm not paying as much attention to, that my higher self is orchestrating so that, hey, get rid of this headache by looking inward and addressing this area of life that you are, I don't want to say not paying attention to completely, but that you are putting on the back burner a little bit. Because some areas of your life, maybe it doesn't resonate that you are neglecting it completely. Trust me, I've been there. I've been neglecting parts of my life completely. I'm not neglecting it completely. It's just been on the back burner on top of I have all these other things going on. And there's always a million excuses. I'm no different. I'm always making a million excuses, blah, 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 blah. But my headache is occurring because I'm trying to rest. I'm trying to be peaceful. My higher self is like, no, no, no. You are actually putting a ton of pressure on yourself right now. You cannot even tell me otherwise because your headache is telling you the exact quantification of how much pressure you're putting on yourself right now, again, in another area of life that you need to look in and shift. Or another real life example of mine is anger. I have had so much anger pushed down. I didn't even realize it, but my physical form was constantly trying to throw it in my face. No, no, no. You have this anger that's undealt with. And yes, we love our anger, but living there chronically is not the vibe either. That's not how you attract. You don't attract by living in a chronic state of anger. And a common way anger will show up on my physical form is actually through my skin. Redness on your skin, like a sunburn, represents anger. And where the sunburn is at actually even further tells you what part of your life that you are most angry in. So I love to go out and tan, right? I love to lay out by the pool. I love to go on my walks. I love to be in the sun. For the most part, I tan. But will I burn too? Yes. And that burn on my skin is representing anger. Again, depending on where on your body, will tell you even further where that anger is placed right now in your energetic field, in your conscious or your subconscious. And your skin is throwing that in your face. Hey, can we shift this anger? Before any physical ailment happens to you, you have to be in energetic alignment for it. So with the headaches, I'm not just going to get headaches out of nowhere because I'm not drinking water only. Maybe the lack of drinking water is the physical catalyst, but there is an underlying energetic root cause as to why you are even alignment for the headache in the first place. Same with the sunburn, same with the redness on your skin. The physical catalyst is laying out in the sun for too long without taking a break, but I'm not in alignment for that unless I have that underlying energetic root cause to trigger this physical symptom. Before I was an intuitive, I was a physical therapist. And this is something I would always see in the clinic. People continuously coming in over and over and over again for the same musculoskeletal condition. That's why we even have labels such as chronic knee pain, chronic low back pain. People are experiencing musculoskeletal pain and conditions on a frequent basis and hence chronically because they are not identifying the energetic root cause underneath that is actually causing their musculoskeletal pain to begin with. Sorry, I'm seeing the same person over and over and over again for low back pain. They come into me once, we get them better in 3 months, they come back in 6 months to a year because they flared it up again. And on repeat, this is a cyclical thing, especially with low back pain. This is a cyclical thing. The epidurals don't work, the surgery doesn't work, the exercises stop working. And that is because you're not meant to live in chronic pain. It's because you are not addressing the underlying energetic root cause that is even causing your low back pain to begin with. You are healable. You don't need to live in pain forever. And if anything, address the underlying root cause so that these other external things, the exercises, the medicine, whatever you may choose, so that that actually takes full effect and actually helps your recovery. I have had numerous clients tell me that they have done all the type of treatments for their disease, cancer, physical body problem that's going on. And right, you start to get desperate. I get it. I've had chronic musculoskeletal type of issues as well. And you start to feel desperate. You're thinking, why are these medical tools and these physical therapy exercises working for everyone else, but they're not working for me? No, you're not just different. You're just meant to address the underlying root cause, get to the root of it so that you can live this pain-free life and then help others do the same thing. So right, these clients come to me and they're telling me, I've done all of these things, and they start to think they're going crazy. And actually that can happen. Your doctor will start to tell you, now I don't want to put that out there for all doctors, but have I had people tell me, I don't want to label all doctors as this, but they start looking at like other neurological type of diagnoses, and you go down this whole other type of rabbit hole, and it's not even it. You don't even need to do that. And I have had clients tell me they just start thinking, I think it's just because of this, of my stress, of this going on. I just think it's hitting my physical form, but I don't know what to do about it. I don't know how to heal it. I'm here to tell you there is energetic work you can do and physical work you can do to heal it, specific to you to begin healing it. It is the biggest misconception on earth that in order to address a physical problem, you need the physical solution. No. That is why ailments frequently come back, even if it comes back 5 years later. Let's say you had a wart. I don't know. Let's say you had a wart. You healed the wart at this one point in your life. It's still living in your energetic field. You can create this again 7 years later. With intuition, you could see if you're in alignment for it or not, or you could just completely heal it and shift it if it annoys you enough so that you don't have to deal with it again. And I say heal and shift it energetically. See why the F you are even getting the wart in the first place, right? Because it has nothing to do with your physical form. Again, your physical form is just the red siren, throwing smoke, signals that's telling you, hey, something is going on in your conscious or subconscious that you're not paying attention to, and you pay close attention to your body. So we are going to orchestrate the situation of a wart, sunburn, wrinkles, headache, so that you pay attention to that, so that you look inward and see, okay, what steps do I need to take? And where in my life do I need to take them to completely resolve and heal this thing? You are not at the mercy of going through treatment after treatment after treatment and not having any results. That does not have to be your life. And again, I'm not even saying don't do the physical treatment, but if you want the physical treatment to have full efficacy, address the energetic underlying root cause as well. Because if you don't, you are potentially just repeating the same cycle over and over and over again. So to sum it up, the universal law of reflections, you create your reality. The quicker you accept that and come to terms with that and take ownership of that, the more you will fast track the success. Accept that you are the creator of your reality. The triggers, the physical body ailments are just a reflection of whatever you are holding to be true in the moment that is now looking to be shifted so that you can return to true nature you, so that you can go out there and live your happiest life. Your body is the best communicator. At all moments, your body is communicating with you. And understand and know that whatever physical ailment is popping up actually has nothing to do with a limiting belief that you hold to be true about the body in this moment. And yes, at all moments, should you show love and gratitude and appreciation for your body? Hell yeah, we don't do that enough either. But for the purpose of simplicity, if you are having a headache and you know the energetic root cause of a headache is putting too much pressure on yourself, because this reflection is popping up in my physical form, that the actual limiting belief is not regarding my physical form. It's actually in another area of my life that I'm not paying attention to or that I'm putting on the back burner that needs to be brought to the forefront so that I could shift whatever is going on there so that I can up level and live my most successful life, to be my most successful self. And why my headache and why this reflection is popping up in my physical form is because your body, A, is the best communicator. B, my physical form is something I pay really close attention to. Guys, listen to this over and over and over again. When I was first learning reflections, even today, I have to stop and pause and think, okay, this isn't a physical form problem. This is a problem in some other area of my life that I'm not paying attention to. It's very hard to grasp that sometimes, especially when you're in fight or flight and you have a fucking headache and you just want the headache to go away. And you're like, how do I get rid of this headache? No. Breathe, calm your nervous system, and look inward and see where this pressure you're putting on yourself, see where that's actually living. As always, if you have any questions about this, please reach out. I love hearing from you guys. That is all for today, and I'll see you next week.